Well, howdy there, folks. Welcome to Marty Mar News, where the tea is sweet and the news is about to get much funnier. I'm your anchor, Marty Mar, coming at you faster than a monkey with a pile of bananas. Please like and subscribe. All right, y'all. First up, let's talk about Trump's tone. Now, if there's one thing we can all agree on, it's that Donald Trump is as unpredictable as a cat on a hot tin roof. You never quite know what you're going to get with him. Now, trying to predict Trump's tone is like trying to herd cats on roller skates. You never know which way they're gonna go. One moment, he might be as calm as a cat napping in the sun, and the next, he's darting around like a feline chasing a laser pointer. One minute, he's smiling like a possum eating a sweet potato. The next, he's madder than a wet hen in a hurricane. It's this roller coaster of emotions that keeps everyone on their toes, never quite sure what to expect next. You know, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of mood he's in. Will he be contemplative, like a cat eyeing a bird from a distance? Or will he be ready to pounce, claws out and all? Will it be the Make America Great Again? Trump, firing up the crowd like a revival preacher? His rallies are like a big old family reunion, with everyone cheering and hollering in support. Or will it be the You're Fired Trump, laying down the law like a mama bear protecting her cubs? When he gets stern, it's like watching a storm roll in. You can feel the tension in the air. He might even throw in a few of those hand gestures, you know the ones I'm talking about. Those exaggerated movements that make you wonder if he's trying to conduct an orchestra or maybe even swat away a pesky fly. The ones that make you wonder if he's conducting an orchestra or trying to hail a cab in New York City. It's all part of the show, and boy, does he know how to put on a show. And let's not forget about the tweets, folks. His Twitter feed is like a window into his mind, a place where he shares his unfiltered thoughts with the world. You know he's going to be tweeting up a storm before, during, and after the speech. It's like a play-by-play commentary of his every thought and reaction. It'll be like watching a live stream of his brain, and trust me, that's a scary place to be. The intensity in his eyes often tells you more than his words ever could. But whatever tone he takes, you can bet your bottom dollar it's going to be entertaining. Whether he's cracking jokes or making bold statements, he's got a way of capturing the audience's attention. It's like watching a fireworks show. You never know what you're going to get, but you know it's going to be loud, bright, and probably leave you scratching your head a little bit. So buckle up, folks, because with Trump, it's always a wild ride. Now, let's talk about policy proposals, which is about as exciting as watching paint dry, but stick with me here. You might think it's all boring stuff, but there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. Policies shape our lives in ways we often don't realize, from the taxes we pay to the healthcare we receive. You see, them politicians, they love to talk about their plans, their policies, their grand visions for the future. They stand on those stages, waving their hands, making promises that sound almost too good to be true. And sometimes they are. It's like Grandma's secret pie recipe. Everybody's got one, but nobody's quite sure what's in it or if it's actually any good. You know how Grandma always says her pie is the best, but when you ask for the recipe, she just winks and says it's a secret. Well, that's how these policy proposals often feel. Trump, well, he's got a whole cookbook full of policy proposals. He's got ideas for just about everything under the sun, and he's not shy about sharing them either. He's got plans for the economy, healthcare, immigration, you name it. Each one is like a different dish in his political feast, promising to fix this or improve that. He's like a one-man policy factory, churning out ideas faster than a squirrel gathering nuts. It's almost like he's got a new plan every week, each one more ambitious than the last. Problem is, sometimes those ideas are about as well thought out as a screen door on a submarine. They might sound good at first, but when you think about it, they just don't hold water. You ever try to put a screen door on a submarine? Doesn't work too well, does it? It's a funny image, but it makes a serious point about the importance of practicality in policy making. But hey, you gotta give the man credit for trying. At least he's putting ideas out there, even if they don't always make sense. It's better than sitting back and doing nothing. He's like that buddy of yours who's always got a get-rich-quick scheme. You know the type, always coming up with some new way to make a fortune overnight. Sure, most of them sound crazier than a sack full of cats, but you never know. One of them just might pan out. And that's the thing with policy proposals. Sometimes the craziest ideas turn out to be the ones that work. So when Trump starts talking policy, just sit back, grab a big old glass of sweet tea, and enjoy the show. It's like watching a high-stakes game where the rules keep changing. It might not be pretty, but it's sure going to be interesting. And who knows, maybe, just maybe, one of those wild ideas will be the one that makes a real difference. Chapter 3. Bipartisan appeal, like trying to get a cat and a dog to share a bed. All right, folks, let's talk about bipartisan appeal. It's a term that gets thrown around a lot, especially during election seasons. But what does it really mean? Essentially, it's the idea that politicians from different parties can come together, set aside their differences, and work towards a common goal. Sounds nice, doesn't it? But in reality, it's a whole lot more complicated than it seems. Now, getting Democrats and Republicans to agree on something is about as easy as teaching a pig to sing. It's messy, it's frustrating, and in the end, you're probably going to end up with a headache and a whole lot of nothing. These two parties have fundamentally different views on just about everything, from healthcare to taxes to climate change. It's like they're speaking different languages. It's like trying to get a cat and a dog to share a bed. You might get them to tolerate each other for a little while, but sooner or later someone's going to start hissing or barking. And that's when the real fun begins. They just don't see eye to eye, do they? It's like they're living in two different worlds. One side sees the glass half full, the other sees it half empty. And trying to get them to agree on how to fill that glass? Well, good luck with that. The Democrats, they're like that old hound dog, sleeping all day, barking at anything that moves. They have their ideals and they're sticking to them, come hell or high water. They believe in big government, social programs, and a safety net for the underprivileged. And the Republicans, they're like that sneaky cat, always up to something. Never quite trusting anybody. They're all about small government, lower taxes, and individual responsibility. They think everyone should pull themselves up by their bootstraps, no matter how short those straps might be. Now Trump, he's like a big old bear walking into that room. He's loud, he's brash, and he doesn't really care who he steps on. He's got his own agenda, and he's gonna push it through, come what may. He's gonna try to get everybody to get along. But let's be honest, there's a good chance he's gonna end up just making things worse. His style is more about division than unity, and that just adds fuel to the fire. He might try to sweet talk him. He might try to bully him. He might even try to distract him with a shiny object. But in the end, his tactics often leave both sides more entrenched in their positions than ever before. But in the end, it's probably going to be about as effective as trying to herd a bunch of kittens. You can try all you want, but those little fur balls are going to go wherever they please, and there's not much you can do about it. So don't hold your breath waiting for a love fest between the parties. It ain't going to happen. The divide is deep, and it's going to take a lot more than a few handshakes and photo ops to bridge it. But hey, at least we can all enjoy the show, right? Politics might be a mess, but it's our mess, and there's something kind of beautiful about that. So grab some popcorn, sit back, and watch the drama unfold. Chapter 4. Key issues, like juggling flaming torches while riding a unicycle. Now let's talk about the key issues facing our nation. It's like trying to juggle flaming torches while riding a unicycle on a tightrope. One wrong move and the whole thing goes up in flames. You got the economy, healthcare, immigration, education, foreign policy, the environment. It's enough to make your head spin faster than a tilt-a-whirl at a county fair. And everybody's got an opinion on how to fix it, of course. You got the experts, the pundits, the politicians, your neighbor's crazy uncle. They all think they got the answers. But the truth is, it's complicated stuff. There ain't no easy solutions. It's like trying to fix a leaky faucet with a roll of duct tape. You might be able to patch it up temporarily, but eventually, it's going to burst wide open. So when Trump starts talking about the key issues, just remember to breathe. It's going to be a bumpy ride, but we're all in this together. And if all else fails, there's always duct tape and prayer. Chapter 5. Audience reaction, like watching a squirrel try to figure out a bird feeder. All right, y'all. Last but not least, let's talk about audience reaction. Now, watching people react to a Trump speech is like watching a squirrel try to figure out a bird feeder. It's a whole lot of head scratching, jumping around, and occasionally, a look of pure bewilderment. You got your die-hard Trump supporters. They're going to be cheering him on like he just hit a walk-off home run in the World Series. Then you got your Trump critics. They're going to be looking like they just sucked on a lemon. And then you got the folks in the middle. They're just trying to figure out what in the Sam Hill's going on. They're like that dog that hears a strange noise. Head cocked to the side, one ear up, trying to decide if they should bark or hide under the bed. But no matter what their reaction, you can bet your bottom dollar it's going to be entertaining. It's like watching a nature documentary, except instead of lions and gazelles, you got politicians and reporters. So keep your eyes peeled on the audience, folks. They might just steal the show. Well, that's all for today, folks. Thanks for tuning in to Marty Marr News. Remember, keep your boots muddy and your spirits high. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss a single laugh. See y'all next time.